No idea.
over $1 million.
You know, the type of lunch you usually.
Obviously, I live in the past.
And they didn't have to do and they didn't have to do any plastic.
Yeah, there was no
Okay,
plastic.
are we ready to rock and roll?
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'd like to call the meeting to order. I just gotta get my agenda. Election. Oh, sorry, no,
Yeah.
are there any, so,
We are at the
That's
beginning
why I
of
said
this
with
blue
my back.
one.
we go to front page, no.
Yeah, let's just, there you go.
Is there a spare copy of one of those versions?
Oh, this,
There's one.
Probably should.
there you can have mine. I don't need to talk to anybody.
But
There's that one there.
This is the old one. This is 540. That's close enough. Take it.
Thank you.
Oh,
Because I
you want
get,
mine?
no, I don't need it.
It's all in
We've
here.
done everything, and Bob has any involvement in it.
No, that's, yeah, it's pretty much done.
Yeah.
So we have just one lead item, which is the replacement for page 1 of the financial report.
And
And that's what we're talking about.
we've already done that.
Yeah,
We've done it, no.
but that's for this meeting.
But we don't have to do anything with it.
No, I'll just,
Yeah.
thank you for the record.
Okay, so call the meeting to order
Approve the agenda.
and approve, oh, sorry, yes, and to approve the agenda of Eagle Cliff System Local Advisory Committee meeting Thursday, August 8th.
So you made that motion, somebody seconded it?
Second.
Then you have to ask for all in favor, then.
Everyone in favor? Unanimous, it looks like, yes.
Same for the minute.
So we can just move past the introduction of late items, because that's been
That's what we just
that's
did.
been done.
Okay.
Adoption of minutes. Minutes of the November 23rd Eagle Cliff Water System Local Advisory Committee.
Should be 2016, there's a typo there on the agenda.
Okay.
Oh, yes, that was 2016, yes,
Okay.
that's right. I actually have the original one here, I brought it.
The motion's right, somebody wants to read the motion.
The minutes of the Eagle Cliff Water System Committee held November 23rd are adopted. Oh, I'm sorry, November 23rd, 2016, be adopted, sorry.
So you moved, David, are you seconding?
Second it.
Yes, for all in favor, Lynn.
Oh, all in favor, sorry, again, I was reading there, all in favor? Unanimous? Okay, elections, election of chair. At the Eagle Cliff Water,
So we want, would anyone like to nominate anyone for chair?
I nominate Len Gursky. This is incestuous.
oh, anyway, so, is there anyone else?
Is there anyone else want to nominate somebody else?
Well,
Okay.
David, do you want to read the motion? When the Eagle Cliff Water System Local Advisory Committee
Elect
elect
Len
Len
Gursky.
Gursky as chair.
as chair.
Somebody want to second that?
Second.
Does Len accept?
Okay, and
All in favor?
all in favor?
Chair!
You got it again.
You win.
Now you're revenge, it's revenge time, so now you get to nominate a vice chair.
I brag about this one a lot. Okay, now election of vice chair. Recommendation that the Eagle Cliff Water System Advisory Committee elect, and so we're looking for. Yeah,
Yeah.
Gary?
Yeah.
Okay,
I nominate Gary Hudson. I accept. All in
Okay.
favor?
all in favor? Good, way to go. Gary, it's good.
Oh, we have a public, do they want to make a public comment?
Not yet.
No, I'm sitting here just.
So what was your name again?
I'm Tim Miskel, MIS
MIS?
KO.
Public comment, new business, financial reports, oh, so this goes over the financial reports. Chief Financial Officer Raj is going to take this.
Do we need
So
to?
I actually covered those off in the information
Yeah.
meeting mean,
Well,
if
that-
there's any points you'd like me to go over, I'd be happy to go over again for you. Or if you'd like me to go through them again, I mean, I can do that.
I had a new item, if I may say, under new business, nomination of another member to our board.
That's council.
You can't do that.
Council has to do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're appointed by council.
Were you thinking of Tim Misco by any
Yes.
chance?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, wait, I shouldn't say that
Chat
because
with
he
him.
has not, this has just been up in discussion, he hasn't confirmed yet whether.
I'd be interested if that, if it
Oh,
was.
okay,
Okay,
so
so
that,
talk to staff afterwards.
You put your email address on the list?
Name and emails on
Yeah.
the,
Perfect,
yeah,
okay.
Holly,
Thank
it
you.
should be Holly Tim, is it Holly Tim?
2014@gmail.com.
There it is,
There, yeah. Okay.
that's his there,
Yeah.
okay.
Great, thank you.
But nobody's got any further questions on the financial report, so we can skip
Well, yeah,
that.
to find- yeah.
And the drinking water quality, Bob did.
Oh, wait a second, so I apologize, there is, in terms of the account, extra copy, the capital funds remaining, there, it was in the neighborhood of 200,000 or
And the reserve fund?
the reserve fund, yes.
Here on this
Oh, there it is.
slide, right here, yes.
And that's everything, Raj, there's surpluses and the reserve fund and all the stuff, right?
So, yeah, the
What do you mean?
projected use, that 30,000, that may never really get
That may
used.
not, no, that is unlikely to happen this year, so.
Why I'm just bringing it up is because looking back at 2016's financial report, we were thinking by the time we would do this reservoir, we would probably have about $250,000 in reserve. And then I looked up a sinking fund, like through the ministry,
Right,
and if we could borrow another 250,000, let's just say, because I thought $500,000 was going to be, but Bob's clearly made it.
Okay.
So, and at that time, it would mean that we are currently, every resident is paying a $230 parcel tax.
so they're paying a parcel tax.
And it turned out with
Yeah.
the interest rates that existed when I ran that through, that matched exact. So in other words, another 250,000 would cost $230 a month, give or take,
Okay.
how it closed. So that was, I didn't bring that up with the general because now the 5 million or $500,000 is meaningless, right? But it isn't really even if you had to go to 750, let's say it was 750,000, well, it still would be, as far as the homeowners,
Your water rates would have to go up, because right now, the parcel tax that's being collected, from what I can see from your financials, part of it is going to pay for your water operations costs, and part of it is being put into the reserve. Because I don't believe there is an outstanding loan for Eagle Cliff
I think you paid that off.
anymore, that's been
That was
paid
paid
off.
off last year,
But the,
wasn't it?
but the bylaw
more
is
than
still,
more.
but the bylaw and the parcel tax are still in effect. So that's why your rate structure, the way I can see it, most users in Eagle Cliff are paying about $440 per connection, but the operating costs by far exceed that. So the parcel tax that you're being charged is taking your water bills to the equivalent of other water systems. Most other water systems are paying a fixed rate of about $750 a year for that benchmark level of consumption. So basically, I think what you were getting at is there's a parcel tax, and that would be able to fund a borrowing.
Parcel tax is not supposed to fund operating, it's supposed to be for
No.
capital.
So it's, that's correct.
So
Um,
really,
how
So
much-
your water rates need to be looked at, and so that's what I'm gonna be doing over the next few months.
Oh,
is
okay,
Taking a look
okay.
at what your water
Because
rates
we-
are, and what they should be, in order to pay for the operations.
Yeah, because again,
Okay.
the other chief financial officer had said that, that wasn't the case, that we were actually are told, but so if you can get that clarified, that would be very good.
Now, I'll be looking at that in more detail, because if you go back to this slide right here, if you take a look at your 2017 results, you can see that your transfer to reserves was 26,000, which is just shy of your parcel taxes by about $6,000.
Oh, okay,
So
so it's,
this line right here is
Yeah.
what went into reserves.
right,
And then your operating costs were higher than the 51,000 that we collected in user fees.
but it's not an enormous.
It's not enormous, it's not a hugely, no.
Okay, but
Well,
that's,
yeah, it is, because it's 31 plus 20 is 50, oh, yeah, another meeting.
No,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
gotta ignore the
Yeah.
amortization.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm.
So you're not out by, you're not out by a huge number there.
Wages are better.
But there is still an imbalance, and when I looked at it, yeah, the bylaw does read that, your parcel taxes that are collected should be, there's two parcel taxes. There's one parcel tax for the dock, I believe, which is,
2,000.
not very much.
yeah.
But I written down, and the other one is for capital improvements
Yeah.
and for the loan, so it doesn't break it out.
Yeah.
So it is, essentially, most of it is going into your,
Yeah, because we don't have a loan anymore of any
Yeah.
kind. So, I'm just saying is that was all dealt with years ago, and so we just kept collecting it.
Mhm.
At that time, the homeowner said, good idea.
good idea, exactly.
Because then we have it, but we were hoping it would have been more significant. Now I realize
Yeah.
that we should have been collecting more, even more.
Yeah.
So just going back to the discussion on the previous meeting, then, if we were to install the filtration that would then allow us to better meet water standards, and hence potentially open up eligibilities for grants, what kind of grants are out there? If we're talking $750,000 or $1 million, we've got 250 now, if it's a one-third kind of thing, or?
But you're one-third. So you might be able to get a reservoir and your filtration would be part of the grant. Anything else?
Oh, okay, no,
So it's not
not
like-
a whole upgrade,
No,
just in order to meet a water-based standard.
depends on how creative the people are that write the grant application, yeah.
Okay, so in terms of experience, what might be available, any idea?
Well, there's a new federal infrastructure grant for green, and that is for improving water quality and sewer treatment plant water quality, so. And they're.
So, for instance, like the ceramic membrane filtration, did you go to the treatment plant, the little one I had on the lake there?
I wanted to.
Dirty water, comes out like bottled water. That little plant there, that was, we were going through 10 gallons a minute, say, which is likely equal, that's what they would need, right? Something like that. That was $250,000 for that treatment plant to run, to buy it and to run it.
Buy it, put it in place and run it?
It's in a little sea can, it's like, and I tried to talk Hood Point into buying one like that, because that is by far the most impressive one I've seen so far.
Yeah, well, it sounds-
For that size,
Yeah,
like, you could just dig a hole and put it in a sea can, it's like, it's so simple. So, and then a tank would be another, so that'd be $500,000. See, now you're going up to like $600,000 or $700,000. So you get one-third, so you pay $200,000 out of that, $600,000.
And in essence, we have that already.
You would have a tank and your treatment plant.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if we've
Yes.
got $200,000 in
That's right.
reserve, we have those numbers.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to
That's right.
borrow. But that's just rough calculations, but
Yeah,
yes.
understood.
Yeah,
Yeah, understood. I mean, we're back to envelope wild ass guessing now.
yeah.
So what is the parcel tax? It's 30,000, 29,000 something a year collected, but how much is that per house?
230.
$230?
I think that's correct.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, there's 110 connections, isn't there?
Is there 100?
It is about $240 for property and then $20 for the float tax.
There's a
Oh,
couple
right,
new
okay.
ones.
Two different parcel taxes.
240 then,
Yeah,
So it's 240 in total or 240 for the water?
240 for the water.
I'm missing something on one of these sheets.
yeah. It's there.
105, sorry.
Yeah, 240, that's, anyway, and that's for, whatever, 105. Well, no, that's right, everybody,
No, it's applied to, approximately 124 properties.
so it goes by, right.
Oh, so there's a bunch of vacant lots, because you have 105 connections.
Well, it's applied to I believe the parcel tax is applied to every
Yes, it
property
is.
in Eagle
It
Cliff,
is.
regardless of whether they're on the
Because
water
they're,
system
so
or
that
not.
they,
Oh,
Yeah, there's 105 properties that are on the water system,
Yeah.
but 124 of the properties pay the parcel tax.
and the-
but they're in the boundary.
Because they're in the boundary, yeah, they
Yeah,
have to.
they're
pay.
gaining,
How many pay?
124,
120.
yeah,
yeah.
They may well be more than that if people go ahead and subdivide.
yeah, like, you know, you were, yeah, you would continue up the hill, right?
Yeah. And put in secondary dwellings.
Oh, okay,
So, I'm sorry, the math still doesn't add up for me.
No, it's
If-
260.48.
Yeah, if we're, our partial tax is shown as 32,300 to the good for 2018, divide that by the number of
Yeah.
230.
yeah,
Well, according to the projection I got from 2 years ago, it was 29,760 was the
I don't
parcel.
have my calculator with me, but I had calculated before we came out with 124 properties at 260,
240, yeah.
240 plus a 20, so
Yeah, you
$260 per each property.
Yeah.
Worked out pretty close to the
Okay.
32,300.
Okay, that includes the float tax then?
Yes.
Yeah, so the
Okay.
260 would include the float tax, so it's
Okay,
yeah.
included in this number here, yeah.
Okay.
That's not the number I've been using, because I, yeah,
Yeah,
I should be using it too, but that, we don't see that money, if you know what I mean.
yep, I know. Okay, sorry, very quickly.
So, is there any, that clarification here, I just thought that it was, just to make sure that we understood how much money we have to work with, and,
It's 29,760 is the parcel tax, is 124
Oh, yeah.
times 240,
and then another $20, that was separate.
so the floats do, yeah.
So then, I guess the question should be asked, what is, once you've done all the number crunching and found out exactly how much our parcel tax is subsidizing our tolls, that should be adjusted, like that should be for the next,
That would be my recommendation to
For the next
council as
fiscal
part of
year.
the budget process for the next fiscal year, exactly.
because we
So-
always understood that that was not the case. I'm right there, right?
Yes.
I don't ever remember getting anyone saying that our rates were subsidizing them. So that'd be really good, if you could let us know
Yeah,
what that
we'll
amount
have a
is.
look at that,
And, because it's, we want that money to be going into capital, right?
exactly.
So in these water system costs, how much of this is in here is for the float?
So how much is in
And
here?
there's a cost for operating the float in here, because you've got the parcel tax revenue for the float. and-
Yeah, I'd have to take a look into that because I just
Yeah.
became aware of the float parcel tax
Yeah, it's,
this week, so.
yeah, as you know, it's
Yeah.
kind of a very strange thing, right? It doesn't-
Mhm.
But there's a whole, yeah. So any other financial stuff then?
Did you want to make a recommendation to council, did you say, or?
Pardon?
Did you?
No, I'm not making a recommendation.
Well, do you guys want to suggest that you increase the parcel tax for next year?
Yes.
Oh,
No, you can't increase the parcel tax, it
Why
has to
not?
be increase your water rates.
Water rates.
Water rates.
The water rates need to be reviewed relative to actual costs and
Yeah.
assumptions.
yeah, that's right, that's
No,
what
I
you-
was thinking of another, like a $50 a lot amount.
Oh, I see,
Put
to
into
build
the
up.
kitty for the tank and all the improvements.
No, because I think, this is, well, sorry, this is my opinion. Because it's gonna be a significant amount of money above and beyond that, that better be rolled into one sinking fund, to me, like,
Well, it's
when
not,
when we know the final cost and what it is, then you borrow that much money. Like, because if we know we could get a grant, like the people,
yeah, but you do have to put in your, like if it's $1 million, and if you, the grants we're looking at with the community center, you've still got to put in 27%.
Yeah. But we have
well,
We have
200,000,
We have
and we're
most
putting in
of it.
30,000
Yeah.
every year.
it's a good point.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know how, I
Just as,
haven't thought about it. I wasn't thinking about it.
so just thinking out loud for a second, Len, I think before we go to that stage, we should go back to the ECCA. Because last year in the presentation, the object was we could possibly get this improvement with zero-sum gain cost
Yeah.
to each householder. now in reality, we're looking at A, possibility of grant, which needs to be fleshed out a little further. B, actual estimated cost, class C estimate, whatever it is, at now not a $500,000, but $1 million,
Yeah.
or whatever it turns out to be. So potential impact or ways to address that might be to increase the parcel tax from 260 to 350, or whatever, but
Putting in a buffer like you are.
but I think that needs to come from us before we go back to council to say yes, correct?
Yeah, I'm-
My understanding
No, yeah, that,
or thought.
like I said, the main thing is just to make sure we find out how much money's being absorbed by the tolls, get that straightened out for
Yes.
increase the tolls, and then, by then Bob should have, within a number of months, 60 days, whatever, 3 months, we should know what this is gonna cost. I hope.
Do you have that coming up, Bob?
Yeah, they're still working on it, so I got a draft last week, but I've sent them, there's a few mistakes in it, so.
And do we have an idea when the final report is expected?
It'll likely be, and now that everybody gets back to work, likely in the next couple months,
Perfect.
yeah.
Very busy.
So we can move, I think that,
Can I just review the action items that I have here to make sure that everyone's clear of the items?
okay,
So I've got, for me to contact Tim, I've got look into parcel tax contribution to float for you. Is that an action?
What I'll be doing
No.
is, I'll be reviewing the operating costs to ensure that the water fees are in line.
That's what I review
to
water rates in
cover-
respect
yeah.
to actual cost
Yeah.
of consumption.
Not consumption.
Operating costs of the
Yeah,
utility,
the user fees cover off the operating cost.
yeah.
But then you're also gonna check to see how much is in the operating costs, if any, for the operation of the float.
Yeah.
Including the float then, okay. And then I've got for Bob to report back to the committee regarding the costs of their proposal.
The upgrade.
The upgrade, is that
After-
option 2 of the upgrade? Is it
yeah,
option?
well, they're gonna give it,
They're gonna look at a couple different options, and then
Okay,
they'll do that, and then they'll say, this is what it's gonna cost you, and then
What's the cost of the estimate expected to be, class A, B, C,
it'll likely be a C estimate.
class C?
that's it.
okay, so I think that's everything in that regard. Can we, then, the drinking water quality,
That was Bob and
us, and if we move on to improvements to the Eagle Cliff water system, and you'll see all those things that are attached at the end of the document. And the one that the ECA, or Eagle Cliff Community Association,
Oh, that's what Echo is.
okay, sorry, and the one that was, it was called the option to upgrade to Eagle Cliff water system. And that was just brainstorming with our, with other homeowners, and said, that's, oh no, Bob, you got some input into this. I have this, I think you thought, you said that might work for something. But anyway, the whole reason for doing the option 2 was that it meant we did not have to replace the 3-inch line and the 8-inch line.
Yes.
Because all that water is being used for is to go through treatment and to fill the tank.
Yes.
And so there is a duplication of pipe going up and down, but those pipes could be laid side by side.
Yes.
So the cost is cost effective in a sense. And then no change to the 6-inch line. That would be a future group of people 2 or 3 decades from now, or whatever.
So if FUS came out and tested the actual, you're gonna have so much pressure, so much volume per minute for so many minutes, and the hydrant on the 6-inch line, once you put the 8-inch in the tank in, met that test,
No,
then you'd be fine, right?
no, it's gotta be 8-inch.
Why?
That's fire underwriter said. Bob, this goes back 2 or 3,
Yeah, they've
they just said no.
they've tried it before with the 6-inch, and it just doesn't,
Sorry.
like, not in Eagle Cliff, but other systems.
Ours is 6-inch, and we have more than the flow.
Well, I think you're very lucky that they said it was fine.
Yeah, no, our
Well,
test
and,
came out well.
and
that
I think
test.
something Bob said is that due to the fact that the line is, I'll say it's 30, how is it, 30 years old now, or 40 years old?
How long was
Yeah,
that?
I think it's actually older than that now, isn't it?
Okay, so there is a the sediment that builds up on the
Yeah.
bottom of it, so you really don't even have a 6-inch line. And that apparently is the primary reason for the 8-inch line, because it keeps it,
Gets,
even it may be, in reality, like this is, we're down to a 4-inch line, or it wouldn't be that much, but
Right.
5-inch.
Doesn't flushing,
Yeah, but we do flush, but it's the actual scale. You have to pig it to actually
yeah,
You have to
get rid of
you
scrape.
have to run a rotor or something.
Well, yeah, they call it pigging, but
Oh, is that,
yeah,
so,
rotor-rooter's close.
so anyway, in regards to the agenda then, this upgrade is really quite meaningless, as I keep saying. It's just our attempt to open the door to the engineers, and they're gonna give us the whole thing. Okay? So moving on, does anyone,
I have one thing
Oh,
I
yeah.
just wanted to, as an aside, ask Allison, so which community has a 6-inch pipe that met the FUS standards?
Mine,
Which is
a private system.
your private system? Okay. Is it?
Was it Cowan Point or something?
No,
No, the Fairweather system. That's
Sorry?
Fairweather system,
fair weather.
yeah.
Okay, and is it new?
No,
How old?
that was 1979.
Okay, interesting. Thanks.
Don't go saying anything to fuss and raising any issues.
No.
I'm just opening my own knowledge on that.
Yeah, well, my understanding was that the hydrants had to meet the flow test.
that's right.
And I like in blue water, some of the hydrants do and some of the hydrants don't.
But you have to remember that you've got a line that your line is a lot shorter
Yes.
than this line here.
Yeah.
When you start talking friction loss over twice the distance or whatever,
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
or the triple
It's
the
a small
distance,
flow
then,
system,
Yeah,
which meets
yeah,
requirements.
what, you got 18 houses?
yeah.
Yeah.
So 18 houses beside each other is a lot shorter than
Up and
100.
down the cliff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
Well, I wasn't saying they'd all meet, but I thought maybe some of them that were right on the
They might.
road might. Yeah.
so are there any, so that we can close the new business and move on? Information items.
That's what they are, just information.
That's, I know, I'm just saying, nothing. Notes, no, there's nothing.
So the Vital Conversations report, if you don't know what that is, that's the report that was done by the Bonham Community Foundation.
Uh-huh.
And they had their one-day conference with members of the community, so, and-
So one could just,
And that, there's a, yeah, if you look at this on your
Online,
actual
online.
computer,
Yeah,
online, and
link,
we've got a
click
live
the
link,
link, okay.
yeah. And the 2018 Allen survey was what we did as a municipality. I
Okay.
don't think there was much relevant to the water systems.
No.
No, council has asked that all committees get a copy of these, just for
Okay.
information.
Trying to get the information out.
So then, I guess I'll select just the next, it says here, to be announced. So I guess it's,
Up to Bob. When you get your quotes back, there's no point in meeting before that.
No.
oh, no,
Yeah.
we need, well, we.
You've let us know.
yeah, November, December kind of thing.
Yeah,
Let me know.
Yeah.
so I move to adjourn? Unanimous?
I'm sorry about eating dinner, you guys. I looked at this clock.